This video is going to walk you through how to fill out a new W-4. So we're going to start on the IRS website, www.irs.gov. This is the home page, and it's one of 3 banner pictures, so don't be discouraged if the picture is different, but they all have this caption: helping people understand and meet their tax responsibilities. So if you see that, you're in the right place. You just may have a different picture. So from this home page, we're going to scroll down to tools and applications, and we're going to go to the section for the tax withholding estimator. So let's check our withholding. This estimator will estimate your federal income tax withholding. And I'm going to stress it's going to estimate. It's not an exact science, but it kind of gives you an idea of how you stand as far as the size of your refund, the amount of your liability, and what your take-home pay is going to look like, and how these changes to withholdings are going to affect all of the above. So, what you'll need to get started is we're going to need the most recent pay stubs for everyone that's going to file taxes on this return. For the taxpayer, most recent pay stubs. If you're filing jointly, your spouse, same thing, most recent pay stubs. If anyone has a second job that has federal withholding, you'll do the same for that. Self-employment, you'll get the 1099s. So you have your business where you have business records. You can pull out what you have, just so that we can see any net income, net loss, whatever it is that will factor into taxes. Most importantly, we will need your most recent income tax return. So once you've gathered all of that, let's click on Use the Tax Withholding Estimator. Let's dive in. So first, we're going to enter into this estimator information. For my purposes here, married filing jointly. And yes, I do have a job that regularly withholds federal income taxes from my paycheck. Now, I will say, if you're retired, or to certain circumstances, you just receive a pension, Social Security, this is not for you. This is just for wage earners and self-employed. If you do not fall into this category, you'll estimate your withholding somewhere else. This isn't the estimator for you. So I'll put yes to answer the question about regular withholding. You'll select whether or not you or your spouse will be 65 or older on the first day of next year. You or your spouse is blind, or either of you can be claimed as a dependent on someone else's tax return. So all of these would affect your standard deduction in some kind of way. So for my purposes, none, but check off any that do apply. So income and withholding. However many W-2s you have for the household, you will enter them here. If I have 1 and my spouse has 2, we both have our main jobs, my spouse has a part-time job, I'll enter 3. So what you would do is you would go through this income questionnaire for each source. So we're just going to go through 1 for this example, but just remember that you'll just do the same thing again for each W-2 or each pay stub. So for my purposes, I'm salaried. You can have an hourly job. And like I said, this is grayed out. If you have a pension, Social Security is grayed out because, as I said, it's not for you. So salaried. Then, did you have this all year? Did you have this job all year? Do you currently hold it, but you plan to leave it? Or you used to have it at one time in the year and you don't anymore? Or is it a job that you don't yet have? Maybe you're getting a new job or you're getting a raise and you want to proactively update your withholding. That's for you. So for our purposes, all year. How frequently are you paid? You would check what applies. Here, I'll just say every 2 weeks. So using the pay stubs that you gathered, you'll just use one at a time. The first one you're going to use. Enter the date of the most recent pay period end. And I'll put the 15th. Wages or salary per pay period. Enter wages or salary year to date. And based on the information provided, is it true? It'll do a quick calculation based on what I did enter, that this is my salary for the year. This 104,000. It's correct. My math was correct. So I'll say yes. If it's not, then you can go back and adjust your math so that you're working with the right numbers. So the federal taxes per pay period, I'll usually go here. So year to date, we're there. Select any that apply. Do you contribute to a 401k? Health insurance plan, HSA, FSA. Will you get a bonus this year? Have you already gotten a bonus? Anything, if none of the above, none of the above, but I'll say the 401k. So each pay, I contribute $250. So year to date, that is $47.50. As you can see, I've done this before. So do you have any other income? Scholarships, unemployment, self-employment net income. That's when those 1099s and the business results come in handy, or anything else that's listed here. Scholarships, to the extent that it is income, to the extent that they exceed your expenses so that it becomes income. Things, none of the above. We'll go to next. Next screen, adjustments to income. These will be on your schedule 1, and they're in this order. If you claim a student loan, interest deduction, educator expenses, any of these things, if they're on your schedule 1, you would check anything. I don't have any, so adjustments entered 0. So we'll go to the next screen. Standard or itemized deductions, you should be able to tell, or you will be able to tell from page 1 of your return whether or not you use the standard deduction or whether or not you itemized. So for my purposes, I'm going to just use the standard deduction. I may, if you were in the situation where you would itemize, you will have a schedule A included with your return. And all of these items, again, they're in the exact same order that they are on the return, and you would enter the amounts here. The tool will do what the tax return does, automatic by default. If your itemized deductions are less than standard deduction, they'll use the standard, which is what they do. They do the one that's higher, except if you're married filing separately, sometimes maybe one spouse gets a benefit from itemizing, the other one really does not. But whatever your spouse does, you have to do. You have to do the same thing if you're filing separately. So I don't want to touch anything here because that doesn't apply. So next, if you have received any of these credits, child and dependent credits, child tax credit, this information is on your form 8812. And you would enter the ages of all of the children that are claimed on there. More children, you keep adding until you've finished adding all your children. Child and dependent care credit, if you've claimed this will be on your form 2441, where you would enter the number of qualifying children in the amount of qualifying work-related child care expenses. And if you have that form, it's been generated, I'm hoping your trust that this is correct and they are qualifying work-related child care expenses on that form. Same thing, earned income credit, you will find on your schedule EIC, and you would enter that information. Educational credits, maybe your 1 or 2 of your kids, or some of your kids are in college. Maybe you or your spouse, you would enter that from your form 8863, and so on and so forth. I don't have any for this scenario. So what I come to next are my results. Based on what I entered, this is what the IRS has come up with, my results. So based on what I entered, I am due to get a have withholding for the year of 13,000. Anticipated tax obligation based on the information is to be 8,184. So it is projected that I will get a refund of $4,816. If I'm happy with the results, I don't need to do anything. If you go through, okay, that's good. Okay. You don't need to do anything. So everything is fine. This is my current projected refund amount. Now, if I look at this and I'm like, that's a lot, I can use some of that money throughout the year. I can use some more take home pay. So from the remaining um, amounts, so I have like 7 paychecks remaining for the year. I want to put, getting $300 back. I'm going to add $300 to my take home pay. So, and I'm slowing down to do my calculations off. So I can slide this ruler down to 2,716. I'll just stay there at 2,750. I can slide it down there so that I'm still getting a refund, but I am increasing my take home pay because I can use that money now. Um, Maybe we just bought a new car and I need to make up the difference, in the car payment or make the payment or so. So, in order to get this desired refund amount, I will need $156 withheld from each paycheck from here on out to the end of the year, which is $344 less than what I'm getting now. So if I submit a new W-4, I am automatically resetting my withholding back to standard withholding. So I have 500 withheld from each check. Standard withholding is only $315. So if I submitted a new W-4 and put no numbers, I didn't put nothing in the number columns and just put my name, marital status, signed it, put that in, I would then get $315 withheld per paycheck automatically because that's standard. So these instructions are based on standard, not on what I'm currently doing. So from that, the recommendation to get this refund, I would have to do the following. So how do I adjust the withholding? So step 3, I would enter a credit so that it reduces it. Now, the good thing about this, I skipped step 1. Step 2, I've already entered in the system on the first page. So if I click here on form W-4, and I'm filling out my W-4 over here. Just in this is a sample. Okay, so I'm going to open that. So what I need to do is it says enter a credit up here. So since I want to reduce that withholding, I will tell the IRS in this form that I'm receiving a credit of 4,134, so I don't need as much withheld. Now, it will automatically put that number on the right line. It will put it on line 3 where it's supposed to be. And that's it as far as lines 3 through 4C. I don't need to do anything else. What I can do still, though, is come over here and enter my name. Whole name. First and last name, social security number, address. Married filing jointly, which I'm done in this scenario, is already checked. And then I would sign it. And then I'm done. I can turn it in to whomever I need to turn it in to. Now, when printing it out, I want you to remember that this that we just filled out automatically is 4 pages. It includes the form and instructions. So if you need to print it, you can go over and make sure you just print page 1. unless you want all the extra pieces of paper. And it just includes forms and checklists just in case you were going to do all of those calculations by yourself. But this video is for showing you how to have the IRS's tax estimator, tax withholding estimator do it for you. So we're not going to be bothered with that. Same thing if you want to save it to a PDF and you email it to someone or drag it, onto a system somewhere or whatever. You save as a PDF. I guess print and just do page 1 for the page range, because I'm pretty sure they won't want all those extra pages either. So you can still do. This will do everything you need it to do, and turn that in. And you must sign it, because it's not valid unless you sign it. So that is key. So what and these are all the pages over here. I just kind of blew through them, but this is to show that there are other pages there. So what I'm going to do, going back to the estimator, is that here shows your results. Now, if you want to print these results after it goes through the estimates and everything, if you want to print, then you can click print, and you can have a copy for yourself. You can save it for your records to show what you did, how you came up with the numbers, whatever you want. Same thing, print it to print out, print it to save it to a PDF. And this is how you create your new W-4. So if you have any questions, you can respond to me directly. I'd be happy to help you and answer any questions that you may have. So I hope this helped, and happy filling out.